Welcome back here to the Parkway Long Course Classic here as we are just underway here in the 13 and over session for this 100 freestyle. We missed a little bit of that first heat, but nonetheless we had 5 swimmers in there. It was Jenna Berry in lane 1, Julia Egelhoff in lane number 2, Eleanor Disper in lane number 3. Lane number 4 was vacated. Sophie Cole in lane number 5 and Mia Muckerman in lane number 6. Again, if you were with us yesterday or this morning, you know that the time on the scoreboard is for the odd number heats. This is a 100-meter freestyle for the young ladies. This will be for the odd numbered heats. So the scoreboard continues to malfunction. We're a little delayed in starting and then a little bit of an abrupt start, but nonetheless, we are in heat number 2 right now. No swimmer in lane number 3. It'll be Sally Nolan in lane number 1, Katie Klein in lane number 2. No swimmer in lane number 3. Lane number 4 is Gastrich, followed by Lundry in 5 and Ashley Peters in lane number 6. So 3 13-year-olds, a 14-year-old, and a 16-year-old. We are doing the chase starts. The chase starts mean that as one side of the pool, if you start on the right, as you're returning to the right, the last swimmer gets about halfway. The swimmers on the left will start their heat, and that's where we're at right now. So it'll be Gartner in lane number 1, Rizel Mendoza, we got a nice story about her in lane number 2, Anna Novak's in lane number 3, Lily Driscoll in lane number 4, Vienna Schindler in lane number 5, and Haley Crow in lane number 6. Nice note, we found out this morning that Rizel Mendoza will be competing in the Paralympic swimming time trials, Olympic trials in June. So congratulations for her. She was very good yesterday, and she is right out there again here this afternoon, or late morning into the afternoon when this one goes. She's in lane number 2 right now. In lane number 6, or number 5, excuse me, in first place in this heat is Schindler. She came in with a 125.36, and so she is, of course, all these youngsters trying to get those sectional cuts, trying to get those age group cuts. Important for all of them. Schindler just 13 years old. When we start to look at that B time and that BB time, 120.49 is the B time. She's going to go well under that here in this one. She clocks a 111.23 for Schindler in the 13 and 14-year-old girls. That's good enough to get her into the double B range. So nice job for her. Second place in that heat goes to Driscoll, then Crow, followed by Novak, then Gartner and Mendoza. Right back in now. We are in the next heat. Spoor in lane number 1. It's Day in lane number 2. Honold in lane number 3. Jasmine Flowers in lane number 4. Emma Eisworth in lane 5. And Kayla Wall in lane number 6. And 13 and overs competing here in this particular session. We'll have that 100 free, then the 200 breast, 100 fly, 100 back, and then the 200 IM. That's how we'll round things out here in this particular session. First place in the heat in lane number 5 is Eisworth. She's looking very strong, and again, we won't have those official times for these young ladies that start on the right side. In the 50s, which we don't have any here in this particular session, they would start and we'd have all the times, but nonetheless, the even numbered heats, we will not have those. All right. Next one in, heat number 5, it's Maddie Stoner in lane number 1, Ava Assanger in lane number 2, Audrey Wagner in lane number 3. She was very strong yesterday, as was Ava. Cora Donaldson is in 4. She was good yesterday as well. Savannah Amon in lane number 5, and Mia Crandall in lane number 6. All strong swimmers here in this one. It's lane number 3 right now with Wagner. 114.63 was her previous best time, and right now she's looking to outdo that one as she comes past the halfway mark here in this heat. Next heat will just start here in a moment, and Wagner will touch the wall first. She'll get there in 108.03. So 6 seconds better than her previous time. Second place in the heat goes to Stoner. Third place in the heat to Assanger, then Amon and Donaldson and Crandall rounding things out. Some nice drops across the board there in that one for Audrey Wagner on that particular heat. That 108, good enough for an A time for her. First time she's achieved that A ranking, so nice job for Audrey. Back the other way now, we've got 6 swimmers in the water. Hannah Fitch is in lane number 1. Jenna Ridings is in lane number 2. It's Cecilia Hoganson in lane number 3. Brooke Shattuck is in 4. Lacey Edwards is in 5. And Jasmine Ankren is in lane 6. All 13-year-olds in this one except for Fitch and Shattuck. They're both 15 years old. A couple of Saluki swimmers in lanes 5 and 6, and all the rest from Parkway. Lane number 4, first one into the wall. That's Brooke Shattuck, the 15-year-old. Again, we don't have the official time, but she came in with a 1:10.92. Trying to catch up here a little bit, catch my breath as we were experiencing just some slight issues prior to the start of this one, and we are well underway again as we get heat set for heat number 7. 5 swimmers here in this one, and I'm not sure if they're swimming in the wrong lane or if they're a little off, but it'll be Tremont in lane number 1. It's Addie Lidbrook in lane number 2. Lane number 3 is vacated, although that we don't know who that is. Mallory Steerett in lane number 4. Avery Smith is in lane number 5, and no one in lane number 6. So that's how all this will shake out for everyone. First one off the wall in lane number 2 here in this one is Ludbrook, followed closely in behind in lane number 5 by Avery Smith. Avery swam well yesterday, so did Addie, and they're both right now front running here in this one. Look at lane number 1, it's Tremont, and then in 4, it is Steerett. As they come right down to it, Avery Smith will be the first one into the wall. Her previous best time of 109.75, she shatters that at a 106.24. First one in, followed in behind by Ludbrook, then Tremont, then Steerett. So that'll round out that heat. We are quickly into the next heat. Maddie Lang is in lane number 1. Lilani Green in lane number 2. Elizabeth Green in lane 3. Lucy Price in lane number 4. Lucy right now, first one off the walls. They come back the other way. It's Carly Schaefer in lane number 5. And then the 17-year-old Mara Collins in lane number 6. Right now, it's Lucy Price heading things up. Lucy came in with a 107.27, and Elizabeth Green right next to her in lane number 3 came in with a 106.95, the best prelim time, followed closely behind by Lilani Green at 107.35. Those 3 completing for first place in this particular heat. Right now, it's Price trying to hold off Green, and it will be Lucy Price to the wall, followed by Elizabeth Green, then Leilani, and then a close second, third, and fourth with Collins, Lang, and Schaefer. All right, here we go. Final heat, folks. They're in the water. Ellie Oplo in lane number 1 from Saluki. It's Kylie Sullivan in lane number 2. Sami Sylvester in lane number 3. Sophie Wallace in 4. Elena Hennig in 5. And Libby Seitz in 6. This is anybody's ball game in this one. Of course, Sullivan and Hennig not here yesterday. They could go very low. And right now, Kylie and Oplo are 1 and 2. The 17-year-old Oplo and the 16-year-old Sullivan. They are 1 and 2 in this one. And right now, Oplo is heading the pack as she comes down in lane number 1. She's got about a body length lead. She will outstretch Sullivan. It's Sophie Wallace in lane number 4 as well. Also coming on strong is Hennig. First one to the wall will be Oplo in a 101.59, 103.02 for Sullivan, 103.12 for Wallace, and a 104.55 for Hennig. Rounding things out, it Seitz at 107.66 and 107.97 for Sylvester. So 101.59. We'll have to look and see how that stacks up against that sectional cut in that 100 free. In that 100 free for the sectional cut, the ladies in that long course looking for a 101.59, and she hits it right on the mark. Right on the mark. So nice job there for Oplo. It's a sectional cut for her. Now here we go with the boys. Back the other way. Wasting no time. We got 4 swimmers in. I've only got 3 on my list, but nonetheless, in lane number 1, it's Cunningham. Lane number 2, it's Tyler Richter, Kevin Wong in lane number 4, and it looks like it's Peretz in lane number 5. Peretz will be the first one off the wall. I'm not sure how old he is. He's not listed on our sheet, but nonetheless was a late entry, and he got into this one. And he's heading the pack. If you're looking at sectional times for these young men, as Peretz will win this heat with a 103.73. That sectional time for the 100 free in the long course is a 56.09. So no one quite there yet. 5 swimmers here for the next heat. It's Jamison Samples in lane 1, Lucas Day in lane number 2, Daniel Lansbaum in lane number 3, Ryan George in lane number 4, and Emmett Shank in lane number 5. Got our first shout out here of this session for Go Jamison. Leslie says, I am so proud of you. Well, let's see if he can channel that and come up with a low time. Right now, he's leading the pack. He is taking that energy, folks. I'm telling you, give those swimmers the shout-outs, and they're going to channel that energy, and you're going to see them do well, because right now we're seeing it from Samples. Samples winning the heat up in lane at number 5. It's Shank right in behind him. Then it's Lansbaum in 3. Rounding things out in the heat will be Day and George, but it will be Samples with the win in that heat. Heat number 3 of 4. Boys going from left to right in this heat. Lane number 1 is Callum Shank, the 15-year-old. 15-year-old Patrick Wong and 15-year-old Jack Favazza are in 2 and 3. It's Carson Patton. He is a 13-year-old Saluki swimmer in lane 4. Braden Shearer in lane 5, the 15-year-old for Parkway. And then Vincent Hager, the 14-year-old in lane 6. Right now, lane number 3, it's Jack Favazza. Comes in with a 101.64. We've seen Jack's talent on display yesterday and at the sectional meets and whatnot. He is as good as you can find. Right now coming on strong. Also Callum Shank trying to catch Jack Favazza. Both of them, again, trying to go perhaps under a minute here. Let's see if they can do it. Jack's underneath the flag. So is Callum. First one into the wall at 101.09 for Jack Favazza. He beats his previous best time. So nice job there. Again, Shank in second place. Third place goes to Patton. Fourth to Hager. Shearer in fifth. Sixth, rounding things out, was Wong. 6 swimmers in there now in the last heat of this one. It's Willem Huggins. He was extremely fast. He's in lane number 1. William Jost, we know how fast he was in that 53 yesterday. He's in lane 2. Colin Schaefer is in lane 3. The 14-year-old, 18-year-old Hayden Christensen in lane number 4. He is right now front running in this one. Ryan Lipsky's in lane 5 and Eli Springbold in lane number 6. That's where we're at right now. It's Christensen with Huggins coming up close to him in lane number 1, and right behind him is Jost. Up in lane number 6 is Springbold, followed by Schaefer, and then Lipsky. It will be Hayden Christensen, the first one into the wall, followed again by Huggins, then Jost, then Springbold, Schaefer, and Lipsky. That's how we round things out. So, folks, we are through one event so far. As some of these swimmers getting their first taste of long course for the season. But a nice swim all the way around. Next event on this one's going to be a 200-yard breaststroke. And we'll see how that one fares out here in just a moment. We had a couple of delays between events last time. I think they're giving the swimmers a little bit of a break because a lot of them are coming back-to-back on these events. It's a very quick meet. So we'll have 2 heats of the girls in this 200 breast, then 2 heats of the boys. Then we'll go to the 100 butterfly. And we'll round things out with that 200-meter IM. And that will wrap things up. There will be a distance session following this one. That will include the 400 IM and the 400 freestyle. Unfortunately, I will not be here for that one, but the camera will be operating. You'll get to watch the stream on that one. I'll be here through the duration of this particular session. So swimmers get a little bit of a break now. You'll notice at the top of your screen there, the 2 lanes at the top, they are vacated. You will see swimmers using those for warm up and warm down. Part of the rules here when you have a an event such as this that you have to have sufficient warm up and warm down, and that's what those two lanes will be utilized for. We got a little shout out. We want to pass along a word of note from Trish Van Valkenburg that the Cedar Mill Summer Swim Team is looking for some more swimmers. So if you're interested, if you don't have a summer swim team and your youngster wants to do some swimming, check in with Trish. She said as an added bonus, Dr. Brian DeBosch will pay $1 of the registration fee. Brian, I hope that's true. So for every swimmer, they can get to come and join the Cedar Mill team. They're in need of some swimmers for summer swim, and we talked about that in our morning session. That summer swim can be oh so fun for all the youngsters and how much they enjoy hanging out with some of their friends that don't swim at a competitive club level or high school or whatever level it may be, grade school. And so they enjoy it tremendously. I know my own children have enjoyed summer swim throughout the years. And check in with Trish if you're interested. Yeah, we got a little bit of a break again. We're going to give these breaks so that swimmers get a chance to wind down. So we're going to take a break for just a moment. We'll let you watch the pool, watch those swimmers warming up and warming down. And we get set for our next event back here at the Parkway Long Course Classic. This will be event number 33 of the weekend. Second event for the swimmers here in this session. It'll be the girls' 200-meter breaststroke. This is a long one, folks. A lot of swimmers competing in this for the first time in long course. It'll take every bit of 3 to 4 minutes. As the young swimmers are up on the blocks. And they dive in. All lanes are occupied here in this one. It'll be Sami Sylvester in lane number 1, Cord Donaldson in lane number 2, Mia Crandall's in 3, Cecilia Hoganson in lane number 4, Katie Klein in lane number 5, and Eleanor Disper in lane number 6. All these swimmers good. Anybody's ball game at this point. We have 4 13-year-olds, Sylvester, Donaldson, Crandall, and Hoganson, going from lanes 1 through 4. The 14-year-old is Klein. He's in lane 5, and Disper is a 16-year-old in lane number 6. So no previously established time for these youngsters. If you want to know where are some of those time cuts for the young ladies when it comes to this 200 in that 13 and 14 range for the girls in this 200 breaststroke, beat time 3:39, 69, 3:23, 99 is the double beat cut. You flip over to that sectional for maybe some of the older girls who may be vying for that in this 200-meter breaststroke. It's a very tough one now at 2:54.19. So this will be 2 full laps of the pool with the breaststroke. First one to touch the wall in a nice split of 1:36.15 is Disper. Again, if she is competing for that sectional cut or trying to get there with this breaststroke, she's looking for a 2:54.19, a little bit off of that pace right now. But looking very strong nonetheless. Give us a shout out, folks. Chime in on that chat line or hit me up with a tweet at Matt on the mic 1. That is my Twitter handle. Check it out. Let me know you're out there listening. We want to thank to all the folks that chimed in this morning, yesterday, and so forth. As Disper touches the wall, she'll go back one more time for this final 50. Looking very strong down in lane number 1 as well. Sami Sylvester, she's right there now with Disper, maybe about a half a body length, maybe not even that far apart from her as they come right into focus here in the middle of the screen. In fact, she is dead on even with her and looking maybe a little bit stronger as Sylvester, the 13-year-old. We talked about it just a moment ago. What are they looking for in terms of that B time, double B time? She may go well under that. 3:08.29. I don't think she's going to quite get there for the A time. The double B time, though, for the 13 and 14-year-olds, 3:23.99, and she will definitely get that. Will Sylvester. She'll touch second. First one into the wall will be Disper at 3:17.38. 3:18.31 for that double B time for Sylvester as she comes home. Third place in the heat now. Lane number 4, that's going to be Hoganson. Followed in behind in lane 5 by Klein. Then it's Crandall in 3, and Donaldson will round things out as she comes down to the end here. Heat number 2 of 2 here now for the young ladies. No swimmer in lane number 4. So you've got Gigi Gartner in lane number 1, Mara Collins in lane 2, Brooke Shattuck in 3, Caroline Spohr in 5, and Haley Crow is in 6. Fastest preliminary time coming into this one, Brooke Shattuck at 2:49.29. We know Brooke can go fast in this particular event. And right now she is cruising. I'm not sure what her time's going to be. Mara Collins is right in behind her, though, in lane 2, and then right behind her in lane 5, Caroline Spohr. Crow in lane 6 and Gartner in lane 1. They are pretty even as it goes. At 2:49.29 in long course for Shattuck is good enough. That is definitely a sectional cut for her. Not sure if she's on pace with that or not. We don't have the clock running for the swimmers that start to the right. So if you start and finish to the right side of your camera screen, those times are not registering up on the scoreboard. It's only for the swimmers going from left to right on their starts and finishes. Right now, Brooke Shattuck really leading the way here in this one. Right in her hip pocket, though, staying with her nicely is Maura Collins. Collins came in preliminarily 18 seconds behind her. She's definitely not going to finish that far behind her now. Again, unfortunately, we don't have the official times there, but she is making sure that she is pacing herself with the front runner Shattuck. That is Collins. Third in the heat right now, lane number 5, that's Spoor, followed by Gartner in lane number 1, and then Crow rounding things out in lane number 6. Crow just a 13-year-old. Spoor and Gartner both 15 years old. Shattuck is 14. Shattuck is 15, and Collins is 17. And it will be Brooke Shattuck with a nice swim for her. First one into the wall. Maura Collins will finish second here in the heat. Third is a cross half to the pool. Lane number 5 is Spoor. It'll be lane number 1, Gartner, and then Crow in lane number 6. Next one up here on this one, we're going to go over to the boys. Got 4 competitors here in this particular heat. We Braden Shearer in lane number 2, Andy Assanger in lane number 3. Colby Robick, birthday was yesterday, just turned 13. He is in lane number 4, and then Tyler Richter is in lane number 5. So we got the 13-year-old, newly minted 13-year-old Colby Robick in lane number 4. We've got the 2 14-year-olds, Assanger and Richter in lanes number 3 and 5, and Shearer, the 15-year-old, in lane number 2. Assanger setting the pace right now with Shearer behind him. Then it's Richter and Robick. No previously established times in this particular event. As they hit the split halfway home, Assanger at 125.17. You start to look at that, at those times now for these 13 and 14-year-olds. In this 200-meter breaststroke, and 3:25.49 is the B cut to get into those championships, which will be in later July here at the Chuck Fruit Aquatic Center. 3:10.79. After this one, we'll have the 100-meter butterfly. 4 heats for the girls, 3 for the boys. As Assanger continues to lead this one. Right now, he looks to get that double B cut. Can he sniff the A cut at 2:53.19? Oh, I'm sorry. At 3:12.59. I'm sorry. I think he will. He's going to be in there pretty close to that. Double A is 3:04.59. He's got a good chance of getting that, or an outside chance of getting that. I think he's going to be solidly in that A range, and he's got a chance now coming down to it. He'll touch the wall at 2:57.67. Just off of the A time at 2:56.09. I think I was reading the wrong ones earlier. Solid double B time. Also a double B time. Well, Braden Shearer, he's 15. He won't get in that one. Then it's Richter at 3:24. He does get the B time, and Colby Robick will round things out here, the 13-year-old. And his first time swimming this is the 13-year-old. No previous time on that one. All right, now here we go with the final heat. 6 swimmers. Patrick Wong in lane number 1. It's Will Cottle in lane number 2. Maddox Thompson in lane number 3. You know he'll be fast in this one. He comes in with a 2:37.17. Callum Shank in lane 4 and Emmett Shank in lane 5. Callum 15, Emmett 13. And then Daniel Lansbaum, very good in the breaststroke. He is in lane number 6. Maddox Thompson, though, right now doing very well. Will Cottle right in behind him, though, in lane number 2. Actually, Maddox isn't here. So, oh, yeah, he is. He's way out ahead of everyone else. So Maddox, and then in behind him, like I said, is Callum Shank, and then Will Cottle. We won't get the official times on this one. When you start to look at Maddox Thompson and that 2:37.17, that's comfortably into that AAA range. And then when you start to look at the sectional cut for that 200 breast in long course of the 2:40.99, he's well under that one as well. So he's just trying to improve his time here. Looks very strong. He is front running in this one. Followed in behind, again, it's Callum Shank, then Will Cottle. In lane number 6, Daniel Lansbaum. And then Wong and Emmett Shank. You know, we've seen this often in these longer distance events. One swimmer will separate themselves, or a couple of swimmers will. That's what we're seeing here. As Maddox Thompson shatters everyone else by almost a half a pool length, but he is wont to do that. He is an extremely talented swimmer. Second place in this heat will go to Callum Shank, followed by Will Cottle. Then it'll be Daniel Lansbaum, Patrick Wong, and Emmett Shank. Okay, 100 butterfly, folks. Here we go. Left side of your screen, see them diving in right there. It's Jenna Berry in lane number 1, Julia Egelhoff in lane number 2. It's Katie Klein in 3. Ashley Peters in lane number 4, Lily Driscoll's in 5, and Maddie Peretz in lane number 6. Actually, lane number 6 is vacated. So we got 2 13-year-olds in Egelhoff and Driscoll, 14-year-old in Klein, and then Berry and Peters, 16-year-olds, all 5 swimmers, part of the Parkway program. This is just a down and back here in this one full lap of the pool. Front running in this one is Berry. Berry does not have a previously established time. Sectional cut for the older youngsters in this one. In this 100 fly for the females is 107.79. She won't quite get to that one here yet. When you start to look at the 13 and 14-year-olds in terms of this 100 fly and some of their cuts, 126.59 is the B cut, and 120.39 is the double B cut. I don't think we'll get anybody there yet quite in this event either. 1:19.85. Nice time for Barry. Second place in the heat will go lane number 5. It'll be Driscoll, followed by Egelhoff, then Klein, and then rounding things out, it'll be Peters. Second heat's already in the water here. Everybody looking pretty even as they come across half of the pool. It's Adele Honold in lane number 1, Ava Assanger in lane number 2, Kayla Wall in lane number 3, Cece Tremont in 4, Jasmine Flowers in lane number 5, and Maddie Stoner in lane number 6. 16-year-olds is Assanger, 15-year-old is Honold, as well as Flowers, and then 3 13-year-olds in Wall, Tremont, and Stoner. Nice underwater there, coming back up on top in lane number 5. That's Jasmine Flowers from Parkway. 1:36.07 was her previous best time. Wall came in with the previous fastest finish in this 100 fly at 1:30.59. Right now she is in second place in the heat behind Flowers, and it looks like Flowers is going to take this one to the wall, followed by Wall. And behind them in lane number 4 will be Tremont, followed by Assanger, Honold, and Stoner. Third heat of four here in this one. We have a swimmer in lane number 2. Oh, it's Mia Muckerman, so we just entered her in, but it's Leilani Green in lane number 1. It's Mia Muckerman in lane number 2. Elena Hennig is in 3. Hannah Fitch is in 4. Avery Smith is in 5, and Anna Novak is in 6. Anybody's race here in this one. Of course, we know the quality of some of these swimmers. Expect in this one, I would expect it to be Muckerman and Hennig. Elena comes in with a 1:22.16, although Hannah Fitch came in with a 1:23.02 and Avery Smith with a 1:23.57. So their times are dropping. Looking strong in lane number 1, though, Leilani Green. She came in with a 1:23.96. But right now, it's Muckerman and Hennig neck and neck as they come down to this last 25 meters. Green hanging in there with them, too. Young 15-year-old Leilani Green storming onto the scene. Let's see who's got enough as we come into the flag. This is our closest race thus far. It's Muckerman and it's Hennig. Muckerman and Hennig. It looks like Elena now with a little strength. Looks like Mia with a little strength. First one into the wall. It'll be Mia Muckerman with a 1:13.72. A 1:13.72. And then Elena in that one, 1:13.84. Nice drop for her. Nice drops all the way around. As Leilani Green gets a 15.97. 1:19.65 for Avery Smith. She drops almost 4 seconds. A 3-second drop for Hannah Fitch as well. And then rounding things out, Anna Novak, as she drops 3.5 seconds. So great race right there for all of those young ladies. And we'll look at that sectional cut for them in terms of that 100 fly. For the young ladies, again, it's 1:07.79, so they're not quite there yet, but nice races as they continue to drop. 5 lanes occupied here in this one as they come right down to the end already. Addie Ludbrook in lane 1, Mallory Steerett in lane number 2, no one in lane number 3. In lane number 4, winning the event is Ellie Oppold. Elizabeth Green is in lane 5, and Lacey Edwards. That's how they'll round things out. We got caught up with the previous event trying to get all that listed. So my apologies there on that one. Here we go with the first heat for the young men. 6 swimmers in on this one. William Jost is in lane number 1. It's Patrick Wong in lane number 2. Jamison Samples is in lane number 3. Go Jamison, another shout out from Leslie. Joe Cunningham in lane number 4. Kevin Wong in lane number 5. And Peretz is in lane number 6. Right now, head of the pack is William Jost. He has no previously established time in this 100 freestyle. William will turn 15 next week, so this will be his last meet, or in a couple of weeks, this will be his last meet as a 14-year-old. 1:01.29 is the sectional cut in this one. Jost will come in this particular heat at a 1:08 flat, second place in the heat. Goes to Peretz in lane number 6, 1:14.87. Then it'll be Samples at a 1:19.49, so he drops over a minute off of his previous best time. Wong, then Cunningham, and Kevin Wong. So it's Patrick Wong, then Kevin Wong. Now we're right back in the next heat. All 6 lanes are occupied here. In this one, it's Ryan Lipsky in lane 1, Daniel Lansbaum in 2, Braden Shears in 3, Eli Springbold is in 4, Will Cottles in 5, and Emmett Shank in lane number 6. Stretching things out there in lane number 4 is Eli Springbold. A 1:18.81 is his previous best time. He is really, really cruising now, folks. Again, that 100 fly is a 1:01.29. Not sure he's going to quite be there, but he is moving quite well. So Springbold with a nice swim. Second place in that heat will go to Braden Shear. We've seen Braden be very strong in the butterfly over the years, and he does nicely there. Next one into the wall in lane number 1 is Lipsky, followed in lane number 5 by Cottle, and then Lansbaum and Shank rounding things out. Final heat now, it's Vincent Hager in lane number 1, no swimmer in lane number 2, Hayden Christensen in lane number 3. Expect him to be the front runner in this one, with Willem Huggins right next to him in lane number 4. Those two. Carson Patton's in lane 5, and then Colin Schaefer, C-Money, the 14-year-old, along with Hager in lane number 6. Carson Patton for Saluki, just a 13-year-old. Right now, it's Hayden Christensen. His previous best time in this one was 58.41, well under that sectional cut. Huggins came in at a 1:03.78. He'd love to get that 1:01 sectional cut. 1:01.29 is what they're trying to get. Christensen will not beat his previous best of 58.41, but he'll be very strong. He'll come in at a 1:02.11. Huggins right in behind him at a 1:05.62, a little off his best time. 1:06.96 for Colin Schaefer, and Colin Schaefer shatters his previous best by almost 10 seconds. So nice job for him, for Colin Schaefer. Right in behind him, Vincent Hager at a 1:08.68, also well ahead of his previous best, and rounding things out was Patton with a 1:09.64. So nice job for those youngsters as they finish out that particular heat. Got a little glitch with the camera here. We'll get that back online for everyone here in a moment. So we got a little bit of a break as well. We'll check some of those times for the younger competitors in that one. Schaefer, Patton, and Hager in that 100 butterfly. That 1:06.96 is just off the double A of 1:06.79. And all 3 of those youngsters did get a solid A time. So nice job for them. 1:09.69 was the A time. So it was 1:09.64 for Green. He was just under the wire. Hager at a 1:08.68, solid A time. And then C-Money just off of that double A time by less than a half of a second. That double A time for the 100 fly, if you're wondering, is a 1:06.79. He clocked a 1:06.96. So 17 100ths of a second away. Nice swim by Colin. We're going to have a little bit of a break here. So we'll take a break as well. When we come back on the other side of this one, you'll be able to watch the swimmers warm up and warm down. We're going to have that 200-meter backstroke after these messages, although there are no messages. Well, we'll get set now for this backstroke, folks. The young ladies will jump into 13 and overs. First two heats will not have previously established times here in this one. We'll have 4 swimmers in heat number 1. It'll be Anna Novak in lane 2, Audrey Wagner in lane 3, Emma Eisworth in lane 4, and Leilani Green in lane number 5. All 4 of these swimmers are very talented, so expect them to have nice established times on their first time out in this event. These events, this 200 back will take anywhere from 3.5 to 4 minutes, folks, likely for these first time out swimmers. Not used to this particular event. This is a one that could really zap the energy right out of you for sure. Some swimmers would say staring up at the ceiling for 200 meters is very tiring and one of the hardest strokes that there is. As they go back the other way. Lane number 3 is Audrey Wagner. Of course, we've seen her quality throughout the weekend. She has been very strong, but first time for her swimming this 200 back for the 14-year-old. Anna Novak and Emma Eisworth, both 13 years old, and Leilani Green, the 15-year-old. I want to give a shout out to the Novak family, Chris and Karen, and of course Grant, older brother of Anna, swam for Parkway for a long time. And halfway through now, we'll touch the wall of 123.77. Nice split for Audrey Wagner, 126.79, a 128.59, and going to be just a little over 135 for Anna Novak on her split as well. So first time out for these youngsters. Again, you cannot overemphasize the difficulty of having to look up at the ceiling for 200 meters, folks. It is anybody's game in this one, and right now it's Audrey Wagner. Of course, her mother here volunteering throughout the weekend, helping with the scoreboard, along with Katie Schaefer, Trish Van Valkenburg, Trish Hager. They have done the lion's share of the work on the scoreboards and making sure all the times are official. Of course, we got Becky Smith acting security here for this one, making sure that our announcing booth is nice and safe. We don't get any fans rushing us and throwing tomatoes at me for mispronouncing a name or making a mistake. But nonetheless, Audrey Wagner now looking very strong. She comes back to this last 25 meters. You want to start looking at those qualifying times in this 200 backstroke. And she is going to have a nice time here. 258.69, first time out. That is the double B. She's gonna score at 248.37. So Audrey Wagner, first time out swimming this one, will get that double B time. 257.35 in that backstroke. Will also be a double B time in there for Eisworth, followed closely in behind by Green at a 302.55. That'll garner her a nice time, and then Anna Novak will round things out in that particular heat. 6 full here. We got a full house in this next heat. The second of 4. Tana Fitch in lane number 1. Gabby Gastrich in lane number 2. It is Jenna Ridings in lane number 3. Vienna Schindler in lane number 4. Kate Morgan in lane number 5. And Sophia Lundry in lane number 6. We have 5 13-year-olds and a 15-year-old. Fitch is the 15-year-old. She's in lane number 1. First one off the wall, as maybe some might expect. And this one is Jenna Ridings. She is very fast in most of her events. She does not have a previously established time. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get that off of the scoreboard for you, but right now she's a little more than a body length ahead of Schindler in lane number 4. So that's Ridings in lane 3, Schindler in lane number 4. Of course, Jenna has been a zone qualifier. Expect that she's going to be right back at it again. Looking down in the lane closest to us is lane number 1. That's Hannah Fitch. She has closed the gap now, and she looks very smooth on the water, looks very comfortable. No wasted effort for any of these first 3 swimmers. First one in the wall on the halfway, it will be Jenna Ridings, followed by Fitch. And then closely in behind her, it's Schindler. Pretty even right now in lanes number 2 and 6 are Gastrich and Lundry. And then rounding things out is Kate Morgan in lane number 5. So that's how they're going to do it at the halfway split. Ridings and Fitch right now will vie for first place. Again, Hannah, the 15-year-old, also swims for Parkway South at the high school level. Jenna Ridings will get to that high school level here fairly soon. She'll be swimming for Pattonville, I believe. Her older sister Lucy and her older sister Claire, also longtime swimmers. Want to give a shout out to their dad, Mike. We know he's watching. Thanks for the comments, Mike, as usual. We tried to get the camera a little bit tighter earlier this morning. Couldn't quite do it. We did have my son on the camera trying to get a little better angles for us. And we will make sure down the line that we have more options. A little harder in long course, especially without a second producer. And the more I try and do double duty, walk and chew gum is about as good as it gets for me. If I try and do a camera, talk, look at stats, do all those other things, doesn't come across too well. So we're just going to let the pictures talk to you a little bit, and I'll describe what I see. Right now it's Jenna Ridings, though. She is going to take this heat, folks. They're going to go inside the flags. Hannah Fitch is right behind her with a very strong swim as well. Both of those youngsters, again, looking very comfortable floating across the top of the water. Lane number 4 in this particular heat is Vienna Schindler. She will take third place in the heat. Top of your screen is Sophia Lundry in lane 6, and then right in behind her in lanes 5 and 2 are Gastrich and Morgan. That's how we'll round things out here in this particular heat. Now we'll start left to right here for heat number 3. We will get the times on this particular next one. Lane number 1 is Maddie Stoner from Parkway. She's a 13-year-old, and her teammate, Savannah Amon, also a 13-year-old, will be in lane number 2. Avery Smith is in lane number 3. She's a 17-year-old. She comes in with the previous best time at 2:52.58. Sophie Wallace, who's been strong all weekend long and right now slightly ahead of Smith. She's in lane number 4, 15-year-old for Parkway. Cora Donaldson is in lane 5, a 13-year-old for Parkway. And then Sally Nolan, also a 13-year-old for Parkway in lane number 6. Nolan does not yet have a previously established time in this particular event. Right now, middle of the pool, though, lane 3 and 4. It's Smith in lane 3, Wallace in lane number 4. Had a chance to talk to Avery's mother just slightly before and said Avery is starting to really work at some of her different strokes. Primarily has been a freestyler, more at some of the distance events, but we've seen her swim very well this weekend, concentrating on some different things. She looks very good in the backstroke right now. Right in behind Wallace. I want to start looking at that sectional cut for this 200 back, which is one of the hardest to qualify across the board in sectionals. It is a 2:30.99. 2:52 and 2:55 respectively for Smith and Wallace. That's what they hit at coming in. Their split's pretty good, though. 1:23.01 for Smith and 1:20 for Wallace. So they are on pace to hit that if they can get there. Maybe a little bit off. Maybe just a little bit off. But they are on pace to do their personal best. And a lot of times that's what swimmers want to do, especially early on in the season. Let's figure out where you're at. Can we beat our personal previous best? And then go from there. Wallace, first one off the wall. Smith will follow right in behind her. Then it'll be Amon in lane number 2, followed by Donaldson, Stoner, and Nolan. Sophie Wallace, again, she's been strong all weekend long, and she right now looks very smooth across that water as well. Previous best time was 2:55.44. She's going to try and go 2:40, under 2:45. She does it at 2:44.48, so nice job for her. Avery Smith will glide in at a 2:52.19, so she will beat her previous best time. Again, continued improvement is all these youngsters want. Next one in the wall was Amon, 3:02.36. Amon came in at a 3:06.25. Then it's Donaldson. Did she best her previous time? Not quite. Nor will Stoner. They're both a little off of their time, but Sally Nolan will round things out in lane number 6. Now we're going to have a very fast heat, folks, in this one. All 6 lanes will be occupied, and we'll start off with Jasmine Ankrum in lane number 1. It'll be Carly Schaefer, who's been very fast in this 200 back throughout her career. She's in lane number 2. Kylie Sullivan, well, we know her quality. 3-time state gold medalist this past earlier this winter spring. Parkway South High School. Libby Seitz is in lane number 4, and Lucy Price is in lane number 5, followed by Elena Hennig up at the top of your screen in lane number 6. Fastest qualifying time, or pre-time, I should say, 2:29.95 for Sullivan in this long course. And when you start to look at that, and how does that rate with that sectional time, again, if anybody's going to get it, it's going to be Kylie. She's under it right now at 2:30.99. We saw Kylie at that ISCA meet. I had the great pleasure of calling a number of those finals that she was in. She was very strong, coming directly off of short course in that state championship in Missouri for the girls. She qualified. She was always in the top 2 or 3 or 4 in qualifying, was still getting used to the long course. Well, right now she's starting to show her familiarity with the long course. Now she pushes off the wall and comes back the other way. That's a 1 split. We won't get the time on this one, but she looks very strong right now. In behind her, second place in the heat right now, Carly Schaefer looking great in lane number 2. Then we've got 3 even for that 3rd place. They're all at the top of your screen in Seitz, Price, and Hennig. Rounding things out, bottom of your screen, the 13-year-old Ankrum. So you're a 13-year-old, you're jumping in on long course, and now you got to go against some complete studs. You got a number of swimmers who've qualified for the sectionals, some high school champions, national level swimmers, and zone level swimmers, and all of a sudden you got to come in and they're a couple years older than you. Well, what you're trying to do is get that best time. You're not worried as much about beating them as it is that best time. Sullivan smooth across the top of the water though. And now we've got a battle for that second place. Schaefer continuing to lead though as they come across the halfway point in the pool. 25 meters left to go. A little bit of an edge for 3rd place right now with Price. She is slightly ahead of Hennig in lane number 6 and starting to pull away from Seitz just a little bit. Right now it looks like Price may get 2nd place. It will be Price followed by maybe Hennig and Schaefer with a tie perhaps. And then 5th place in the heat will go to Seitz, and rounding things out will be Jasmine Ankrum. All great swims for those young ladies. Congratulations to them. All right, here we go. Into the boys. Let's waste no time. C-Money in lane number 2. That's Colin Schaefer. Lucas Day is in lane number 2. Colby Robick, he got a shout out a couple of moments ago from his grandparents. They go, Colby, continue to work hard. And then Andy Assanger's in lane number 5. So 4 in this one. Colin Schaefer, the front runner here. This will be the first one into the wall. Colin, no previously established time, but watch this one. I'm gonna take a gander, a guess, if you will, that he'll wind up in that AA type range, if not faster. He has been getting stronger and stronger. And for those of you who know the Schaefers, Scott and Katie, and his sister Carly, who just competed in the previous heat, you know that Colin, a couple of years playing some football as well, and now back swimming almost full time, under the tutelage of the last couple of years of Chris Etherington and Tom Bick. And right now, Colin showing his quality. We talked about some of the future stars for Parkway earlier and the future stars for the Salukis. Well, some of them have arrived already. We talked about a kid like a Connor Moran. We talk about a Willem Huggins and a Maddox Thompson. Well, right now, look at C-Money. He's also one of those up-and-comers. He'll hit the high school levels next year, and the Parkway South coaches very excited to add him to that great team they've already got with swimmers like a Gabe Porter, like a Carter Crook. They're going to have quite a formidable squad in the upcoming years. And when it's all said and done, you may be looking at the swimmer That could be the best of the lot right now. Nice stroke for him. You want to see what is he trying to get in terms of this 200 backstroke. Double B time is a 249.09. A time is a 236.09. He's right tracking on that A time. 229.59. He's got an outside shot at it, although I don't know if he's going to get that double A time. I thought he might, but no one really up there competing with him to push it the envelope for Colin. So he's doing this all on his own, and he's going to be solidly in that A range, it looks like, though. Won't quite get that 229, but a nice swim for him. First time establishing it. And he will go in at a 233.92, solidly in that A range. Next one into the wall, coming in lane number 6. Or excuse me, lane number 5. Will be Andy Assanger. 250.08 for Andy. Andy's a 14-year-old, and that 250.08 and the 200 back is a solid B, just about a second off of that double B time. Rounding things out will be Colby Robick with a great swim for him. He is also into that B range, I believe. Just misses the B, and then winding things out will be Day in lane number 3. Now, final heat here in this one. 6 swimmers in. It's Tyler Richter in lane number 1. It's Ryan Lipsky in lane number 2. We talked about Willem Huggins a moment ago. He's in lane number 3. Jack Favazza's in lane number 4 with Will Cottle in 5. And William Jost, the freestyle sprinter extraordinaire, in lane number 6. A lot of talent in that pool right now in the various strokes. And expecting this one, it would be Huggins and Favazza as the top 2. And that's exactly how it's ferreting out thus far. Both talented in all the strokes, both of these swimmers. And Willem right now with about a 2 to 3 body length over Jack Favazza, following in behind Jack. In lane number 6 is Cottle. Then it's Jost with Lipsky in lane number 2, an up-and-comer, just a 13-year-old, young Ryan. And then Tyler Richter, also a very strong swimmer, in lane number 1. Right now, Willem looking very strong. We've watched him over the last several years continue to be a leader for this Saluki club, and comes down from Southern Illinois, comes up from Southern Illinois, I guess. If you want to describe that map-wise, and one of the team leaders for them, and really has come into his own over the last several years. Been a competitor against my son at the same age group level for a number of years. They're the same age, and both 15 years old, as is Jack Favazza, right in there with them. William Jost, just 14. He'll turn 15 years soon. Will Cottle in there with 15. Tyler Richter soon to be a 15-year-old. And then eventually Ryan Lipsky will be up there with those senior level, national type level. All these swimmers have that potential. Huggins came in with a 220.54. I suspect he's going to go well under that. Nice smooth swim for him. Don't have the time. Wish I would have put it on my clock here. Was unable to do that, but maybe we'll try and do that for some of the IMs just to get a start when we get down to some of those faster heats. But nonetheless, he brings it home. Again, right in behind him is Favazza. Next one in the heat will be Cottle, followed by Jost and Lipsky, and then Richter will round things out. All right, here we go. Last event of the day. First, it's the females. Young ladies in this 200 IM. These are going to take about 3 to 4 minutes, folks. So sit back and let's relax and enjoy these a little bit. We've got 5 competitors in this one. Gastrich in lane number 1. It's Jenna Berry in lane number 2. Muckerman is in 3. Sophie Cole is in lane 4, and Eleanor Disper is in lane number 5. No previously established times for these 5 young ladies. Expect that Muckerman and Disper will be very good in this event, as they have been all weekend long. And right now, it's Mia showing her quality. This will be one length of the pool in each of the 4 disciplines. First, it'll be the butterfly, followed by the backstroke. Then they'll flip back over and go into the breaststroke, close it out with the freestyle. So far it's Mia Muckerman in first place. Second place in lane number 2 with a strong swim as far as Jenna Berry. She was good earlier as well. Muckerman and Berry both 16 years old, as is Disper. Cole is a 14-year-old, and Gastrich is a 13-year-old. So these first 2 heats will have no previously established times. We'll try and see if we can get a little bit of a time clock on them for everybody so that we can get an idea on those even-numbered heats. Right now, Mia Muckerman, though, very good swim. She's going to go under 120 on that first split. It'll be 118.10 for her. Second one in at 125.73, Berry. Then Disper right in behind her, followed by Cole, and Gastrich will round things out as she comes in on the backstroke. Now, this stroke can be the difference maker for a lot of different swimmers. Some swimmers are very, very strong in the breaststroke. Some are not as strong. And sometimes this is the stroke where some swimmers catch up with other ones. Right now, though, that's not going to happen, at least in terms of the first place finisher. It will be Muckerman. If she continues to widen her lead here in this one, she'll come all the way down to the wall with a significant lead of about 10 meters or so. She'll touch the wall and go back the other way. When you start to talk about the sectional cut for this particular event, this 200 IM, for these young ladies, 230.99. I don't think Mia's going to quite sniff that one yet, but she'll work hard to try and get there by the end of the summer. She'll come in with a nice established time here in just a moment. Trying to go under 245. Let's see if she can do that. She'll touch the wall at 244.93, so a good swim for Mia. Second place in that heat looks like it's going to be Berry in lane number 2, followed closely in behind by Disper in lane number 5. Cole in lane number 4, and then rounding things out in lane number 1 will be Gastrich as she comes across the halfway mark in the pool. Well, we've started our stopwatch. We're going to try and see where some of these front runners are at in this particular heat, mostly because they don't have a previously established time, and we've got some fast swimmers in here. 5 swimmers in the water, no one in lane number 1. It's Sophia Lundry in lane number 2. It's Cecilia Hoganson in lane number 3. It is Sophie Wallace, who's been extremely fast throughout the weekend. She's in lane 4. Kate Morgan is in lane 5, and the 13-year-old Julia Egelhoff is in lane 6. So 4 13-year-olds in this one, respectively. It's Lundry, Hoganson, Morgan, and Egelhoff, and then Wallace, the 15-year-old. And right now, Sophie will touch the wall here in a split of about 38 seconds. She'll go into the backstroke. Hits the top of the water and come back the other way. 7 heats of this 200 IM for the young ladies. And then we'll have three heats of the young men. And then I will sign off, and you'll have a little bit of a break before those distance finals come your way. Give us a shout out now. Hit us on the live chat. Remember, like, subscribe, share, do all those things here on our YouTube channel. As Wallace hits the wall in about a minute and a half, she'll go back the other way. Now the breaststroke. Again, this particular stroke is where we see a lot of swimmers who are very strong in it make up some ground. Other swimmers who are not as strong, they tend to fall off or lag back or come back to the pack or fall away from the pack depending on where they're at in the standard so far. But Wallace looking very strong now on this breaststroke. I think I said her split was 130. It's about 125 actually. So she's going to touch this wall in just under 205, 203 in change as she comes back the other way. Muckerman with a 244.93. Let's see if she can beat that. Of course, this time not official like the scoreboard or the scores. I'm just trying to keep this to give folks perspective on where some of these swimmers might hit. think she may beat Muckerman's time, though. She's around 2:30 right now with just about 15 meters left to go. Sophie Wallace looking very strong now. And she will come into the wall at about 2:40.15. And I believe that will beat Muckerman's time. But both of them have competed against each other throughout the weekend. So good swim from Sophie Wallace. No one within half of the pool length of her at this point. Second place in the heat looks like it will go to lane number 3, and that is Hugginson. Followed by Lundry, then Morgan and Egelhoff. This is a tough one. You get into these IMs, and that's always a tough one. So that's how that one will wind out. As we get set for heat number 3, moving from left to right on your screen. Six full here in this particular heat. It's Katie Klein in lane number 1, no previously established time. It's Haley Crow in lane number 2, Jasmine Flowers in 3. Rizel Mendoza in lane number 4, Lily Driscoll in lane number 5, and Sally Nolan in lane number 6. And again, we mentioned Rizel Mendoza earlier. She will compete in the Paralympic swimming trials in June, so congratulations to her. That's quite a feat. We saw a couple of swimmers at the sectional meet who had qualified for the Paralympics, and that is a tremendous feat. We want to give her all the credit in the world, and I believe those will be in Omaha around the same time as the Olympic swimming trials in early June. So go get them, Rizel. Way to represent for Parkway, way to represent for yourself, and a great achievement there. Congratulations. And always great to be able to tell stories like that across the airwaves, and we want to wish her the best of luck. Right now, she is in lane number 4 here in this 200 IM. First place, though, as they come down for the halfway mark in this backstroke, lane number 3. First one to touch the wall will be Jasmine Flowers, the 15-year-old from Parkway. Right in behind her in lane number 5 will be Driscoll, followed closely by Crow and Klein. Then Mendoza, and up in lane number 6 will be Sally Nolan, the 13-year-old from Parkway. Nolan, Driscoll, and Klein, no previously established times. Fastest prelim time was 3:34.85 by Rizel Mendoza. She got a nice shout out here from Minnie Manny. Quite a feat for her, and I'm sure her family's extremely proud of her. I know how proud I get of my own kids when they do something special, and that's quite a special achievement. There's no doubt about it. I'm talking about some of the top athletes in the world right there that she will get a chance to compete against, all because of her efforts and her hard work and her skill and her talent. First place now as they come back into the freestyle. Looking up there in lane number 5, it's Driscoll. She overtook Flowers in lane number 3. It was that breaststroke again. It's not the strongest stroke for everyone, folks, and it was a strong stroke that time for Driscoll right now, and she is leading the pack. Right in behind her is Flowers, followed by Klein in lane number 1, then Crow, then Mendoza, and rounding things out, it will be Nolan. Let's see who's going to have the fastest time. In this one, it will be Driscoll at 3:18.92. So nice established time for her for the first time out. 3:20.51 in lane number 1. Good time as well. 3:20.59 for Flowers. 14 seconds better than her previous best. Mendoza coming in now trying to beat her previous best. She'll be just off of it. Crow 3:28.98. Well ahead of her previous best. And then rounding things out up in lane number 6. Will be Nolan. Heat number 4. 6 swimmers in the water now, already in. It's Adele Honold in lane number 1, Caroline Spohr in lane number 2, Mia Crandall's in 3, Ava Assanger's in 4, Kayla Wall is in lane number 5, and Abby Day is in lane number 6. Fastest prelim time in this one, 3:09:26. I did not get a chance to start my personal clock at the start of this one, so my apologies. I'm trying to see if I can do that for the 6th heat in this one, but right now you got a number of swimmers really competing hard as they're into the backstroke. Lane 4 is Assanger. She's been strong all weekend long. She's 3:15.95 coming in. Crandall had the fastest previous time of 3:09:26. She's looking good in lane 3, as is lane number 2 with Spohr and lane number 5 with Wall. In fact, all swimmers within touching distance. This is anybody's race at this point. We've seen a couple of swimmers kind of stretch it out and go away and hide in the previous heats with this one, and then we saw them come all the way back in the breaststroke. So here we're going to come into that make or break stroke. That's the breaststroke. Who's going to be the strongest here? That's really the question. If you have a really strong breaststroke and you got to pack this tight, you can give yourself a little bit of a lead and then go into that freestyle and really power your way home. No one's separating themselves at this point, trying to get a good gauge on who's going a little bit faster. It might be the swimmers in lanes number 2 and 3, and that is Spohr and Crandall looking very strong. In fact, Spohr is going to take over first place, and Crandall's going to come in second place. They have just passed Assanger in the middle of the pool, but all 6 swimmers within touching distance of each other. Very strong right now is Spohr and Crandall. Our Spohr and Crandall. Sorry for the bad grammar there, but nonetheless, Spohr's the first one to touch. Crandall right in behind her. We're going to come right down to this, folks. We've got to sprint to the finish here. This last 50 freestyle. Well, Mia Crandall came in with the fastest time of 3:09:26, and right now she's showing her quality. She was in 3rd place after the backstroke. She took over 2nd place on the breaststroke, and right now she's got a little bit of a lead with half of the pool to go, but it's right there with her. It's Spohr and Crandall, and up in lane number 4 with a strong swim is Assanger. Who's going to get this one? Anybody tiring out? Right now they're going on pure guts. This is going to be a great finish as they go inside the flag. Right now it looks like it's Crandall. It looks like it's Assanger, the first one to touch, and it will be Assanger at the wall, followed by Crandall. Then it's Spohr. 4th place in this one. What a race for that one will be Wall. And 5th place to Honold, and then Day rounds things out. What a race for those 6 young ladies, all within a fraction of a second of each other. All right, here we go on to the next one. 6 swimmers, all in the pool, already going. Cece Tremont's in lane number 1. It's Jenna Ridings in lane number 2. Elizabeth Green's in 3. Sami Sylvester's in 4. Audrey Wagner's in 5. And Addie Ludbrook is in 6. Folks, this is anybody's race. All 6 of these competitors have done very well in their various disciplines throughout the weekend. Ludbrook right now looking very strong, and she's a very good butterflyer and backstroker, so expect her maybe to have this lead. We saw Jenna Ridings do very well earlier in both of these strokes, in the back and the fly. And right in the middle of the pool with her is Elizabeth Green. We know the quality of Audrey Wagner in lane 5. She's been very good all weekend long. And then down in lane number 1, it's Tremont as well. So this ain't anybody's race. We'll see how. I think it's going to come down to the breaststroke, folks, again, like it has in the last couple of races, although I will say that Assanger, who lost it in the breaststroke, was able to come back. She kept her touching point with those very fast breaststrokers, and then when it came to the freestyle, she was able to come back and pull away at the end. Just barely, but that's what she had, exactly what she needed. First one to the wall on this one in that split of 1:18.47 was Ludbrook, followed by Wagner, then Green, then Ridings, Sylvester, and Tremont. Now, you got 3 13-year-olds in this one. It's Tremont, Ridings, and Sylvester. 14-year-old in this one is Wagner. The 15-year-old is Ludbrook. She leads right now. And then Green in lane 3 is the 17-year-old. So let's see if anybody can close the gap here on Addie Ludbrook. She continues to lead, but are closing the gap, Sylvester and Green. So Sylvester and Green, and then Ridings also up there. Looks like she has passed Wagner. And right now, giving a run for the money, lane number 4, it's Sylvester. She came in with a 2:59.64. That was the second fastest time to green at 2:55.47. It's just going to be a sprint to the end now. And who has the energy left? Right now, middle of the pool, it really looks like Sami Sylvester might be the one, at the 13-year-old with a 2:59.64. Sylvester in lane number 4, looking very strong. She's doing battle right now with Ludbrook in lane number 6. Ludbrook, though, starting to pull away a little bit now. Addie Ludbrook with a little bit more strength. And she's going to take this one, folks. It is Ludbrook, followed by Sylvester, 2:49.54, 2:49.59. 5/100ths of a second difference for those two young ladies. What a time for them, and they both achieved personal best on that one. Way to go, ladies. Third place in the heat goes to Green with a 2:51.90. That's her best time. Jennings with a 2:50, or Ridings, excuse me, Jenna Ridings, not Jennings, 2:54.13. Nice job for her. She drops 5 seconds, and then rounding things out will be Wagner, who was able to drop 6 seconds, and Tremont just off her previous best time. Great job for those young ladies. We'll see if we got any. I'm sure we got some cuts in that one. We'll see now as we go into heat number 6. I did start my clock on this one, so we'll see how this goes. It's Lacey Edwards in lane number 1, Maddie Lang in lane number 2, Maura Collins is in 4, or 3, and Carly Schaefer in 4. Strongest stroke for Collins and Schaefer might be the backstroke, and they're both showing their quality in this stroke right now. They both did very well in the fly also. It looks like Carly Schaefer, as one might expect, if you're even with her in the backstroke, she's likely going to take the lead over you. She's going to do that right now. She'll be the first one into the wall at about 1:19. So she'll flip and go the other way. They go into the breaststroke, so it'll be Schaefer followed by Collins. Right in behind her in lane number 2 is Lang, and then Lacey Edwards, the 13-year-old, in lane number 1. So Edwards is a 13-year-old from Saluki. Maddie is a 14-year-old. Schaefer, a 15-year-old, and Collins, a 17-year-old, all from Parkway. Fastest previous time, 2:49.32. I'm going to bet you that some of that is going to be made up in that breaststroke, which they're doing right now. For the folks who are not as strong in the breaststroke, whether you're a female or a male, they like the fact they only have to do 50. They don't have to do 100 as you do in that 400 IM. Right now, though, strong swim from Collins in this breaststroke. So Schaefer took the lead on the backstroke. Collins is going to take a little bit of a lead on the breaststroke. She's touch and go the other way. Just about 2:11. They're going to try and go back the other way, see what they can do on this freestyle. It's a sprint to the finish, folks. It's Collins and Schaefer in lanes number 3 and 4. Coming in behind them in lane number 2, Lang, and then winding things out will be Edwards. It's going to come down to it. Not quite a body length lead, maybe about a third of a body length lead, maybe a half of a body length lead so far for Collins in this one. Collins will be the first one into the wall. She's going to win the heat. She'll touch, and then Schaefer will touch. So Collins will come in at 2:47.84. Less than a second behind her will be Carly Schaefer, and they will both shave time off their previous best. So way to go to those young ladies. Final heat here in this one. We do not have a swimmer in lane number 4. So it'll be Jasmine Ankrum in lane number 1, Brooke Shattuck in lane number 2, the state champion in the 200 IM, Kylie Sullivan, in lane number 3. It is the 17-year-old from Saluki, Ellie Oplo in lane number 5, and Mallory Steeritt from Parkway in lane number 6. Oplo had a little bit of a lead over Sullivan coming out of that underwater, but now Kylie on top of the water is taking the lead very slightly from her. This is the last heat for the young ladies. 2:48 is their time to beat. Sullivan will be the first one off the wall. She does that, what's called a bucket turn, as she goes from that backstroke to the breaststroke. Great underwater from Oplo here. She's caught right back up to Sullivan. They're going to come to mid-pool. It's really going to be about who's the strongest in the stroke, and Oplo right now looks to be a slightly better breaststroker here. Halfway through the pool, though, Sullivan maybe with a fingertip of a lead. Of course, we chronicled Sullivan. She was an athlete of the week, an all-metro swimmer here in the St. Louis area coming out of the high school season. She led that Parkway South program to a medal in the state meet. She was a 3-time gold medalist. And she's going to come off that breaststroke and go back the other way. Right there, Oplo and Sullivan. Let's see, this is going to come right down to it, folks. This should be a good one. 2:24.22 is Kylie's best previous time in long course. Let's see if she can beat that one. Oplo's previous best is 2:39.71. She's going to shatter that one, folks. You can bet she's going to do that. Right now, Sullivan with about an arm length lead. Maybe not quite that far, but it's Oplo who looks very strong now. They're digging in. They're going to come right down to it. Inside the flags, it's Sullivan and Oplo. First one into the wall, and Kylie starts to pull away, and she's going to be the first one to touch. Kylie Sullivan at 2:34.01, 2:34.75 for Oplo. Great race there. Kylie will win the event. Not her best time by any stretch, but she does get the victory. Oplo coming in right behind her. Third place in the heat is Brooke Shattuck, so Brooke comes in. Not quite on her previous best. Rounding things out will be Steerett and then Ankrum. Way to go, young ladies, on that one. Great race. Okay, here we go. We got 3 more heats left. We got 3 heats of the boys. The ladies are done. Congratulations. Great event so far. A couple of them are going to stick around for those distance events. 5 swimmers in. Kevin Wong is in lane number 1. Jamison Samples is in lane number 2. He's got a number of shout-outs throughout the day. Ryan George in lane number 3. Lucas Day is in lane number 4, and Tyler Richter is in lane number 5. Tyler and Kevin do not have previously established times. They're in lanes number 5 and 1, respectively. Ryan George in lane 3 has a 3:07.29. That's his previous best time. And right now, it's Jamison Samples. He's been a stud all weekend long. He's gotten all those shout-outs. He's channeling that energy. And right now, he looks very strong in that butterfly. He's going to touch the wall and come back in the backstroke. I think the stroke for him to really watch is that breaststroke and see how he does in that one, because right now he's lengthening his lead in this backstroke. He looks very good. Jamison's previous best was the 3:18.55 for the 13-year-old. When you start to look at those 13 and 14 cuts in that 2 IM, a 3-minute .89, that's the B, and a 2:47.99, that is the double B. Keeps this pace up, you will surely get into that double B range. Well, we've seen A's, we've seen double A's, we've seen a lot of different times dropped, sectional cuts, etc. Breaststroke now. Let's see how Mr. Samples handles this one. He's doing very well thus far. Also looking strong in lane number 5 is Tyler Richter in this breaststroke. Lane number 3 also looking good. That's Ryan George, again, 3:07.29. He's going to try and make up some ground in this breaststroke would be my bet. But his teammate right now, Jamison Samples, is really pouring it on. Ryan George will not be his previous best time of 3:07, I don't think. We'll see, though. He might. Good chance for Samples to beat his 3:18 and Day to beat his 3:14. Tyler Richter looking very good up there in lane number 5 also. We'll go back the other way now. Lane number 2, it's Samples. Samples came in at a 3:18.55. He's going to go way under that one, folks. Again, we talked about that 200 IM double B is a 2:51.39. He's got a chance to get that. A little closer than I thought. Breaststroke might have held him back, but let's see what he does. He's got 6 seconds to get there. He's going to go under the flag. I don't think he's quite going to make it. He's going to be just off of that double B time. Solid B time, though, for him. The B time is a 3:04.59. He's well under that at a 3:53.79, but about a second and a half off of that double B. Richter, very good at the top of your screen at a 3:01.62 for Tyler. Nice job. No previously established time for him, and that's going to get him into the B range as well. So nice job. Third place in that heat at a 3:06 is George. Fourth place in the heat goes the Day, and then Wong, will round things out in lane number 1. All right, I did not get my stopwatch rolling here for the next one, so my apologies. I don't have that time clock going. Patrick Wong is in lane number 1. Daniel Lansbaum is in lane number 2. Jack Favazza is in 3. No swimmer in lane number 4. Vincent Hager is in lane 5. And Colby Robick, the newly minted 13-year-old, is in lane number 6. All these swimmers have gone under 3 minutes in this 200 IM. Right now, leading the pack in lane number 3, Jack Favazza. Look for he and Vincent Hager in lanes 3 and 5 to maybe the strongest in this one. We know that Jack also very good in the breaststroke. Daniel Lansbaum will expect him to make up some ground in that breaststroke as well. Jack Favazza looking very strong. And again, did not get the time clock set on this one, but he has shown his quality just off a sectional cut time. Expect this year, maybe this summer, he is going to make his play to get that. Again, Jack stretches out his lead in the breaststroke. It may be his strongest stroke. He has really come on quite nicely in some of the other strokes, such as the back, that were not necessarily maybe his favorite or his strongest. But when you've got somebody that is that good at the fly, that good at the breaststroke, very good swimmer right now. You see that technique, middle of the pool as he comes right across that 25-meter line. He is killing it right now. Looks very smooth, not tired at all. He's not laboring. Jack Favazza is going to win this heat easily. Lane 5, Vincent Hager, he's going to come in second place in the heat as he lengthens that out a little bit. Battling for third place is Lansbaum and Wong in lanes number 2 and 1, and then Colby Robick will round things out in lane number 6. First time for him swimming this as a 13-year-old. Nice swim for Jack, though, as he closes it out. Well, one final heat here for this section, folks. You can look for Hayden Christensen to really push the envelope here in this one. 4 swimmers in. Hayden Christensen's in lane 3. Eli Springbold in lane 4. He can maybe give him a little run for his money. Maddox Thompson definitely could, but there's a 4-year age difference between Christensen and Thompson. And then Carson Patton, he's just 13 years old, so a 5-year age difference between he and Christensen. So Christensen, the 18-year-old from Parkway, and then the 13, 14, and 15-year-olds. The Patton, Thompson, Springbold triumvirate for the Saluki Club. Christensen, as many might expect, well out ahead in that butterfly. He's very good in all 4 strokes. Hayden's previous best time is a 2:22.61. That's good enough for a bonus cut in the sectional, but not quite at the 2:18.99 where he needs to be. Let's see if he can go for it here. A lot will be predicated on how well he does in the breaststroke, of course. He's probably going to have to be under 2:10 to at least have a shot at it. He does go under 2:10 at 2:06.45. But the breaststroke is going to be the one for him. Let's see if he can do it. So he is at 2:06.45. 2:18.99 is what he wants. When you're looking at Thompson and Patton, and they're going to be looking for that 200 IM AAA, the 2:25.09 is what they're looking for. That A time is a 2:31.69. They're fast enough, they may be able to do it. Look at Springbold, he is also a 15-year-old. He's right there in lane number 4, or excuse me, in lane number 4, but it's Thompson in lane number 5 who's doing battle right now. About 153 on that turn for Hayden. He's going to have to come back very fast, but he has the ability to do it. We've seen Hayden qualify in almost every stroke at the sectional. Can he get this one? 10 more seconds to go. He's got half of the pool. Going to be tough for him. Maddox Thompson, though, pushing the envelope. He is trying to get that AAA at 225.09. I think Maddox Thompson is going to get it. Hayden will not get that 218.99 sectional cut. Can Thompson get into that AAA? He will not get it either, just off of it. A 225.90 and a 227.88. Great swims for both of those young men. Thompson came back on that split, the breast to the free, and a 115.10. Great split for him. Springbold, 233.81, and then rounding things out, coming home in lane number 6 was Patton with a 240.40. Folks, that's going to end it for me here on this one. We're going to sign off for you now. We hope you've enjoyed all the action that I've been able to bring you throughout the weekend. We'll have somebody probably manning the camera for that final piece. But until the next meet when I get to join you so long, hopefully we'll get Kevin Girth back with us and he can provide that great production that he always does. Nonetheless, the sights and sounds have been fun throughout the weekend. And we will see you down the road. Until then, have a great weekend and enjoy the rest of the spring until we get to our next meet. So long for just a while.